Thursday, and tonight is the start of week 2 of NFL football. And man, I couldn't be happier. This is just the absolute best time of year. The beginning of football season is just one of a kind, and it hasn't set in yet that NFL and football season is here, but it will. It absolutely will. But I thought it would be fun to do an NFL predictions video, and see how we do. Maybe this can be a weekly series on the channel. I think I've done at least a couple weeks worth of predictions in the past, but I've never done it as a season-long series. So we're gonna do our best to try and pick the winners every week. And then who knows, maybe one week we'll get them all right. Maybe one week we'll get them all wrong. I don't know. So if you're new to the channel and you like ASMR and ASMR gaming, or just ASMR with random topics that I like, video games, sports, stuff like that, hit that subscribe button. And if you're a returning subscriber, hit that like button before you sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's video. So, here we go. We have Thursday, and I'm probably going to upload this tonight. So, by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be halftime or the second half of the Thursday night game. And we have the Bills versus the Dolphins. Now, both of these teams came out with a win in week 1. For me, though, if I'm thinking about teams that don't have, as much fall off from year over year, it's the Dolphins. The Dolphins have maintained a good bit of their offense, most of their offense, and I think a good bit of their defense as well, whereas the Bills, they lost Gabe Davis, they lost Stephon Diggs. I don't know about their defense. I don't know if they've added anything on defense or not. But the Dolphins, I think I gotta go with the Dolphins here. I will say, at the point of me recording this video, Book It with Trent has taken the Bills, and that has kind of gone into my decision process. If you know, you know. That guy's hilarious. I love that guy. But he is very bad at making picks. So we're going to go with the Dolphins here. We're going to go with the Dolphins over the Bills. I kind of hope. I'm a fan of Josh Allen. I really like Josh Allen. If they do lose, I hope it's not because Josh Allen threw 5 picks or something, or got hurt or anything like that. God forbid. I do have Keon Coleman in probably one of my fantasy lineups. Yeah, I think I have Keon Coleman starting in I can't remember which league it is. I have 2 leagues, community league and then a league with my friends. But Keon Coleman will definitely be starting for me tonight. I think he's going to have a breakout week against the Dolphins defense, but I could be wrong. Next up, we have the Ravens and the Raiders. I feel like this is pretty easy here. I think we're going to go with the Ravens. The Raiders did show some good signs of life in week 1. I believe they won as well. I can't remember who they played. I should probably pull up on my other monitor last week's schedule. Matter of fact, we're doing it on the fly. Like I said, NFL week 1. Like I said in my previous videos, well, I guess you wouldn't have seen them because they're previous videos and not out yet. Because I've been recording all day. Anyways, I'm going out of town and I'm trying to do my best to record as much content as possible between now and then, because I'm going to be gone from pretty much tomorrow afternoon all the way till Thursday, so I'm going to be gone down for a whole week, so I'm trying to get as much content for you guys recorded as possible before we leave. So, oh, the Ravens lost. That's right. The Ravens lost to the Chiefs on the last play of the game. The Raiders, however, oh wait, never mind. I was completely wrong. The Raiders lost to the Chargers. That's right. Yeah, I think the Ravens this is a no-brainer now that I know that the Raiders lost to the Chargers. Not that the Chargers are going to be that bad this year, but the Ravens, they're just stacked, man. They are really just stacked. They went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, and quite frankly, I think the Chiefs are going to have like a Hall of Fame season this year. Man, it's just like the rich get richer with that team, man. They are just stacked at every corner. So, we'll go with the Ravens over the Raiders here. Next, we will do Chargers at Panthers. And man, as a Falcons fan, I don't like the fact that the Panthers are terrible. I really don't. I feel bad for them. I'd rather the Saints or the Bucks be, one of the terrible teams, but because of all the teams in the NFC South, I'd say I hate the Panthers the least. And I like Bryce Young, and but man, it is looking bleak. It is looking really, really bleak. Now, do I think the Chargers can go 2-0? I think they can go 2-0 before the Panthers can get a win, so I'm going to go Chargers. Harbaugh is going to get a 2-0 start in the NFL. That's pretty impressive. But I mean, of course, his brother has done really good things with the Ravens. So next up, we have the Cowboys and the Saints, and the Saints absolutely put a beat down on the Panthers in Week 1. That is not indicative of the Saints team. I think that it's more indicative of the Panthers being terrible. I feel like the go-to pick here would be the Cowboys. I don't want to be like milquetoast, like, pick the favorites every time. I think the Dolphins are favorites. I feel like, yeah, I'll pick some upsets here in a minute, but this is not one of them. I'm going to go with the Cowboys over the Saints. Cowboys will be in their prime regular season form in this game. I think Micah Parsons will be a monster, will be a disruption on that defense against Derek Carr and the Saints. I don't see the Saints putting up 40-something points like they did last week. Anyways, moving on. We have the Lions and the Bucks. Now the Bucks looked really good in Week 1. I think this will be a close game. I don't like the Bucks. Matter of fact, I think I dislike the Bucks more than I dislike the Saints at this point. And I really like the Lions, which has me, of course, blindly. I think I would like to think that the Lions are going to blow them out. Let's see, the Lions last week played the Rams, and it was a close game. It was the Sunday night game. Cowboys, by the way, they played. Who did the Cowboys play last week? The Browns, and they got the win over the Browns. Yeah, I don't see that game going any other way. Here, Lions and Bucks. Man, Baker Mayfield. He's gotta have a slip up game at some point. He's been looking like an actual quarterback for far too long. I'm gonna go Lions here. Lions at home and call it a day. Colts, Packers. Now, if Jordan Love was healthy, Packers all day. This one's gonna be pretty simple, man. I'm just going with Colts. They're the more complete team right now. The Packers did look good in Week 1, but without Jordan Love, I just don't see them being competitive, at least as competitive as they were with Jordan Love. And I think we call that We call that just how it is, and it's just Anthony Richardson. Now, I think Anthony Richardson is incredible. Fantasy-wise, yes. As a quarterback, the jig's still out. But I think we're going to take the Colts here just because of quarterback versus quarterback. Another solid matchup here, Browns versus the Jags. Now the Browns did lose to the Cowboys, and the Jaguars lost by 3 to the Dolphins. I think I'm going to take the Jaguars here. I think the Browns are going to go 0-2 to start the season. I would be willing to bet that the Jaguars are probably underdogs at home here. There's no reason why they should be favored over the Browns. At least I would think. That's my initial thought. I could be wrong. So, but I feel like the Jaguars have got to be underdogs here. If Travis Etienne doesn't fumble into the back of the end zone last week, they beat the Dolphins in week 1. So they were this close. They were this close to beating the Dolphins in week 1. I think I'm going to take the Jaguars here over the Browns. Deshaun Watson is he's just not that good. That contract is gonna go down in history as one of the craziest contracts, like fumbles of all time. So next up we have the 49ers versus the Vikings, and man, the 49ers, jeez, man, I thought I was pulling for the Jets in week 1. I really was, but the 49ers are just so good, and Brock Purdy is really good. He looks comfortable. He throws. He puts the ball in the right spots. His accuracy, his mechanics are like really smooth. And I don't know how the 49ers did it, getting him as Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft. But they did it, and it's working out for them. It's working out for him, so hats off to him. But moving on now, we have the Seahawks at the Patriots, and man, the Patriots beating the Bengals was not on my week 1 bingo card. It was not. Let's take a look. The Seahawks remind me. Yes, the Seahawks beat the Broncos. Low key, I thought the Broncos were going to win that game. They were looking decent. Shoot. Do I really want to take the Patriots? I think the Patriots have a great defense. Well, they did, and then they gave up. I don't know. I'm not taking the Patriots. Seahawks. There's no way the Patriots start the season 2-0. I'm just playing the odds here, and there's no way that the Patriots start the season 2-0. And maybe we were all wrong about the Patriots. Gerard Mayo, maybe he's just like the second coming of Bill Belichick. Who knows? Next up, we have Jets at the Titans, and I gotta go Jets here. They really, from the first quarter, really the first half, they looked great, and then there was some sort of fall off. They started to lose. They started to just lose their momentum, I guess. They kind of went down. They kind of got behind, and they could never catch up. So the Titans, I believe. Let's see. The Titans played the Bears. That's right. They were up 17-0 and fumbled the crap out of that lead. I think that's going to probably stick with them going into this game. They're going to be like, dang, we should have won last game. I think the Jets, I have a hard time seeing the Jets being 0-2. Their offense looked great. Aaron Rodgers looked great, man. He's still got a cannon. He still has an absolute cannon. And this is a Germany game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I know the Giants play somebody in Germany. Is it this one or is it some other time? It might be another time. I think it might be Giants Patriots or Giants Panthers. I don't know. It's like the worst two teams in the NFL are playing each other in Germany. It might be the Commanders, but this is a toss-up here. Daniel Jones, man. Daniel Jones is... I can't remember what the statistic was. He has thrown more pick sixes than he has touchdowns, I think, already to start the season. Or he's thrown more touchdown passes to the other team, I believe, than he has to his own team. Commanders. Let's see. The Commanders played the Bucs week 1. That's right, and then the Giants played the Vikings. They got absolutely rolled by the Vikings, who I don't see being very good this year. I think the Commanders have probably a better defense than the Vikings. I'm gonna go Commanders here. Rookie Jaden Daniels is gonna catch a dub here against the Giants and get his first win in his NFL career. Jaden Daniels, there was a part of me that hoped that he would fall to the Falcons, or the Falcons would trade up for him. So I do want to pull for him where I can, but yeah, I think they man, it's windy outside. I think they take the dub over the Giants. I think the Giants are going to go 0-2. Although I am pulling for Daniel Jones as well. I don't know that Daniel Jones is the problem in New York. I really don't. I might be the only one in the world that thinks that, but I know I'm the minority there. But I feel like they need some offensive line help. I feel like they still need more weapons on offense. I mean, it's hard to place the blame on just one person, but who knows? Maybe they switch out to their second-string quarterback this week and they win. Who knows? Next, we have the Rams and the Cardinals. And the Rams went toe-to-toe with the Lions. They went to overtime and they lost in overtime. The Cardinals, however, they played... Who did they play? The Bills, that's right. And they went toe-to-toe with the Bills as well. I mean, I think Arizona might steal one here. I think Arizona might just steal one. I tell you what I would pick in this game is the over. I think both of these teams could put up a lot of points this weekend. But I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, and I think this is a chance for them to build on the stuff that they did right in week 1. They kind of came out and surprised the Bills a little bit. I think they were up 14-0 or maybe 10-0, 7-0. I know they went up that, and I know they scored first. I'm gonna take the Cardinals here. Also, I just remembered the Rams are missing Puka Nacua this week, I think. So that's tough there. Next up, we have Broncos at home against the Steelers, and this is going to be a really interesting matchup because depending on if Russell Wilson plays, he could be playing his old team, the Denver Broncos. How is the Broncos' offensive line? If the Broncos, I believe they have a decent tackle, I'm going to go with the Broncos here. I think they're going to do a better job of maybe game planning for TJ Watt than the Falcons did, because we did not do a very good job of stopping that man. Truth be told, you take TJ Watt off the Steelers, and I think the Falcons win that game 10 times out of 10. I really do. TJ Watt is a physical, he is just a cheat code. He is just simply put a cheat code. He's the best defensive player probably of all time. if you ask me. I mean, that dude is a monster. He makes J.J. Watt look like a little child. And that's a fact. I'm going Broncos here, though. I think they maybe hopefully game plan for him a little bit, and catch a win. Bengals, Chiefs at Kansas City. I'm going with the Chiefs. Bengals lost to the Patriots. Something tells me that the Bengals are going to be like 1-5 to start the season, and it's going to be the big story of like what happened to the Bengals. You know, there's a lot of health question marks behind Joe Burrow, and with Jamar Chase and his contract and all that stuff, you just really wonder what's going on over there in Cincinnati. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are looking to three-peat. They have, like I said, one of the best offenses I've ever seen. They added Xavier Worthy on top of their already Super Bowl winning offense. They don't need to rely on Travis Kelce as much as they have in the past. I think the Chiefs are gonna just. It's gonna be hard for me to pick anybody against the Chiefs this year. That's just how it is. I do like Joe Burrow. I do like Jamar Chase. That duo is great, and I hope I'm wrong about that. But the Chiefs, man, it's pretty much a lock every week to pick. Bears versus Texans. This is interesting. This is interesting. You have this year's first overall pick and last year's first overall pick. To my knowledge, I know he's the first quarterback. Well, no, that's right. Bryce Young was the first overall pick. So, if we take him off the board, C.J. Stroud versus Caleb Williams. That's what I'm trying to get to. Man, do I think that Caleb Williams showed his best last week? Absolutely not. The Texans, though, man, they are just too strong. They are just. They've got a squad. They have an absolute squad. They added Stephon Diggs to what was already an incredible offense because of C.J. Stroud. And they added Joe Mixon, who I believe carried the ball 30 times, which I want to go on record here by saying I picked up Joe Mixon in the community league. And when I was live streaming that, a lot of people clowned me for that pick. 30 rushes in week 1 if he stays healthy. I don't see why he can't be a top 5 running back in fantasy this year, but I digress. I'm going Texans here. And last, but certainly not least, we have the Falcons versus the Eagles. And, of course, the Falcons played the Steelers and lost without giving up a touchdown. The Eagles faced the Packers and won. It's going to be really, really unfortunate, but I'm going with the Falcons. No, just kidding. I'm going to go with the Eagles here. Again, I think the Falcons are going to be really good this year. I still think they're gonna win the NFC South, but it's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a couple of games for them to really figure it out. I think Kirk Cousins probably has a little bit of a mental block as well from his Achilles injury. I have no doubt that physically he's ready to go, but mentally, just trying to make sure he stays healthy. He might need to figure it out for a couple more weeks, and it sucks because the Falcons next week we play the Chiefs, so it very well may be that they're 0-3. But I don't hate that. I feel like this is more of I really wish we had beat the Steelers. We should have beat the Steelers, but like I said, TJ Watt is just a menace. did not give up a touchdown against the Steelers last week. Granted, the Eagles' offense is much better than the Steelers' offense, but Jalen Hurts has been, he's kind of shown some signs of regression the last couple of years. I'm not saying that this is going to be a blowout, all right? If we can keep it within a score, like similar to how we did with the Steelers, I would be happy. And if we can somehow keep it within a score of the Chiefs, then oh man, I think going into week 4, it would be really nice. But I'm fully prepared for us to be 0-3 going into week 4, and that is not reason for me to panic whatsoever. I think there's going to be some sort of like an aha moment where everything's going to click for this team, and from there on out, it'll be smooth sailing. So, but it's not going to happen this week. We could steal a win, but I'm going to stay on the safe side. And the fact that it's a Monday night game, man, I'm pumped. This is I believe Bears-Texans is Sunday night, and then Falcons-Eagles is Monday night. So those are two really interesting, at least for me, primetime games. So that is going to do it for my predictions video. Here you go. Take your screenshot here. We've got Dolphins over the Bills, Ravens over the Raiders, Chargers over the Panthers, Cowboys over the Saints, Lions over the Bucks, Colts over the Packers, Jaguars over the Browns, 49ers over the Vikings, Seahawks over the Patriots, Jets over the Titans, Commanders over the Giants, Cardinals over the Rams, Broncos over the Steelers, Chiefs over the Bengals, Texans over the Bears, and Eagles over the Falcons. So, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all